Please take the thing that happened in the Lok Sabha on 23rd of December 2008. 17 bills were passed in 12 minutes. Not a single bill was discussed. I happened to ask one member, what is Guinness Book of Records, 17 bills in 12 minutes? They were all useless bills. One of the bill concealed in this 17 bill was an amendment to the Prevention of Corruption Act. We call it a useless bill. And what is the amendment? Not to make the law strong, to make it weaker. 3 sections which are going to help, or was in the process of helping the prosecuting agency to get a conviction were removed. One, there was a presumption. If a public servant is required under his service rules to furnish his assets and liabilities every year and as and when he acquires over and above certain value to his superior authority, and when the investigating agency finds that he has not declared or what is found in the investigation is much more than what he has declared, then the burden was on that officer to prove how he acquired it, from where the sources came. They wanted to delete that presumption section. Consequence is, the investigating agency must find out on what day he took how much bribe from whom, how it accumulated and came to so much money, so that he could buy a property of so much worth. It's impossible to do that. The second was, it's in section 13, there are very, very many subsections of that. If a public servant deliberately parts with the property of the state to a private party by which the state loses financially, then he shall be guilty of corruption. Deleted. Sought to be deleted because Rajya Sabha has not passed it yet. Third one, even today or till now, Section 19 applied only to serving government public servants, not retired ones. They wanted to extend it to the retired government servants also. What does it indicate? There is absolutely no will to fight corruption. I mean, this is the situation in which the government is this thing. It's made against these 2 bills by Mr. Advocate Satish Sonank. Yeah, he first comments about 19A, where the law commissioners recommended that the Lokaयुcta institution should go to the High Court for the purpose of contempt, this thing, he criticizes it. That, as I told you, whether saying something per se against the Lokaयुcta or Upalokaयुcta would amount to contempt, if we can use different words to say, would be would attract the provisions of the Contempt of Courts Act is a doubtful thing. Therefore, I can't find fault with it, subject to, of course, certain further study on this matter. Then he has commented on certain sections which in regard to the filing of the returns by the public servants, which I have said already in my thing, that the date should be changed to on or before 30th of June, and also, this is before 30th of June. Maybe in your terms. Okay. That's all right, then there's thing. But let me tell you something in Karnataka. I mentioned this in 2006 by way of a letter to the government, saying that this will cause you difficulty. 2 things. That is, I don't know whether, have you defined the year? If you don't define the year, there is a problem. There are 3 years. There is a financial year, there is a calendar year, there is a revenue year. The financial year starts from 1st of April to 31st of March. The calendar year starts from 1st of January to 31st of December. The revenue year starts from 1st of June to 31st of May. Now you don't define the year, not because of anything else, it's a draftsman's mistake and all. There's a lot of problem there, a lot of hue and cry. My account is kept by my chartered accountant and he keeps it from 1st of April to 31st of March. Now you have not mentioned it. When you don't mention what is the year you want, then under the General Clauses Act, it shall be the calendar year. So you must give from 1st of January to 31st of March one account, 1st of April to 31st of December another account. I pointed out this difficulty. I said 30th of June is also wrong, it should be on or before 30th of June. I also mentioned there's a schedule there which they are given, under which what are the items which we have to mention about. How many sheep heads you have? How many hen? Chicken? I said, for heaven's sake, I don't want any one of these things at all. Just let them give me bank accounts and their jewelries and immovable property. Believe it or not, for 3.5 years, they did not react to it because it has come from Lokayukta. That means it must be a hidden meaning. Even when you want to help them out, no. Most trusted organization in Karnataka till 2nd of August. But recently they have changed it, they have accepted our suggestions on that, So Mr. Sonank, I have mentioned about 176, 177 of the IPC also. Then he has commented on dissimilarities with Jan Lokpal Bill. I think for the present, don't compare the provisions of the Jan Lokpal Bill with the Lokpal because you do not know what changes that will come up there. And let us see under this what is happening in the state Lokpal listing. And then again, they said similar provision is not found in this. That's mostly it. Now I'm prepared to take questions and any other doubts which you have. Oh, no, lovely, please. Mr. Kalap, if you would like to say something.
No, we have just come to hear.
That's a wonderful thing in democracy. There are people who still want to hear us. Thank you very much. I'm prepared to take questions.
We have given a list to you. I am referring to that. It's with you here.
Asha family.
Yeah, Asha family responsibility. Yeah. Now, of course, I have raised on clause 8 of the bill. Yeah, I can ask. I have we have raised on the present draft which is made by submitted by the Law Commission. Okay, we have raised queries on that, on clause 8 of the bill. The clause 8 of the bill says that along with the Chief Justice of Bombay High Court bench here and Chief Minister and Leader of Opposition, that is under subsection 1, that they can remove the Lok Ayukta. So this is the first question, because we feel that the Chief Minister and Leader of the Opposition, who are public servants, I do not know they have mentioned public functionaries, but the real word is they are public servants. They can overrule, because if it is a panel of 3, then the 2, Chief Minister and Leader of Opposition, if they get together, they can overrule what the Chief Justice says and still remove the Lok Ayukta. We would like you to answer that. Then the next one is clause 11. Okay, clause 11 specifically subsection 3, which says that allegations which come within, which are 5 years old. Now by the time anybody finds out a corrupt act, it takes 5 years. So now by the time, as soon as say 5 years have passed, any corrupt act which has come, which is 5 years old, by the time we come to find out, it is already 5.5 years. So what they will say, we can't accept it under this bill. It should be at least minimum 20 years behind, like how RTI allows us to take information 20 years behind. Otherwise, it gets nullified, because by the time we get the information, because anyone who does corrupt act, he tends to hide it inside for many years. So 5 years if he has hidden, 5.5 years, and then we file an allegation with the Lok Ayukta, the Lok Ayukta cannot take it. So what they have proposed is most unfair and unjust, and we would like your opinion on that. Okay? Then next one, which we are raising is, that is clause 17. Clause 17 about the charge sheet. The extension, like investigation has got 6 months, and they said give another 6 months. Now we wonder why another six months. It should be only 3 months. And then again, subsection 4 of clause 17 says it has given the accused one opportunity. Then under section 6, 9 and 10 it says give another opportunity, another hearing. So as you add these hearings, the delay will take place, and that within that time the justice will not come. So we have raised that point on that. And another one is that miscellaneous clause 36 of the draft which they have present. That it says that anything which is done by a public servant, I am not mentioning the word public functionaries. Even if the chief minister and opposition and ministers, they come as public servants. Why the change in name of public functionaries? Now here there is good faith they have added. That if anybody does a corrupt act in good faith, they can escape. Very well they can escape. Sir, please answer. I have nothing else.
Let me start the last one, which is so much of response from the corrupt and good faith can never go hand in hand. Therefore, it contradicts, one contradicts the other. Therefore, you shouldn't have any faith in that. Good faith, if a particular public servant or public functionary can commit a misconduct in good faith also. That is why you see in commercial transactions, when a public servant takes a decision, then very often the burden is on him to prove that he took it on good faith, not on the prosecuting agency. Therefore, I don't think there requires any change. Where in good faith the accused public functionary could escape according to you and all. No, the judge who's looking into it, he must know, I'm sure he knows the difference between the good faith and corrupt faith. Therefore, I don't think you are, I think your doubt is a bit too this thing. No, it is not correct at all. Now let me go to the first one. I agree with you that it should not be the Chief Justice and the Leader of the Opposition and Chief Minister who will be privy to removal. For removal, like it is in the Jan Lokpal Bill, which is agreed to even by the government, and it's the Sarkari Lokpal Bill, there we have mentioned, since it's the central organization, a 5-member bench of the Supreme Court shall inquire into it and shall then pass an order whether there is a truth in the complaint, and if there is a truth in the complaint, it will recommend to the governor the removal of the concerned Lokpal straight away. It should be the same here. It should be a 5-member bench at the Bombay High Court, which should be empowered to do that. Selection is different from the removal. Now you take now impeachment in the superior courts. They want to bring it into the Judges Accountability Act and all. There again, it is the majority are judicial functionaries, retired or sitting functionaries. Therefore, for this thing, appointment, I think it should be the Leader of the Opposition, Leader of the Chief Minister, Chief Justice of the State, with 2 other judges of the High Court should be there for selecting. And while removing, it is exclusively the court and the court alone, because it requires an inquiry. An inquiry is best conducted by a judicial forum. Therefore, removal should be by a 5-judge member of the, because after all, there will be a lot of allegations will come up. All sorts of allegations will come up. Therefore, I think that amendment I am suggesting on your behalf that it should be by the this thing. And also, I suggest for appointment also, it should be, majority should be outside the administration. Then the time period. I read in one of the acts, there is the empowerment on the Lokpal to extend and condone the delay in filing. If the power is already there with the Lokpal or the Lokayukta to condone the delay, then how does it matter? Fixing of a 5-year period is a minimum period. If there is a delay thereafter, based on circumstances, if the authority is satisfied, as the Lokayukta is satisfied, he can condone it. The power of condonation is there with the Lokayukta. Therefore, there is no need to say that it should be 20 years. Then some will say even 20 years is not enough. So it is better to put an open end, they say, that the power of condonation will lie with the Lokpal on grounds which are acceptable. That is there in the Limitation Act, Section 4.
In the Lokayukta bill, it is not specified.
One of the two I read because I'm a bit confused with general.
The new bill, sir.
You will accept that?
New draft.
And you will accept the new draft. So, sorry? No, I saw this thing. I have a copy of the new draft here. No, it can't be. I have not gone through it, but it is here and this and that. There's a limitation put, which is then.
Yes, there is condonation.
Yeah, which provision, please?
11.3.
11.3.
Yes, there is. There is a provision to.
Is it your bill or
Yes,
the?
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Any complaint involving an allegation of corruption made after the expiry of a period of 5 years from the date on which the matter or conduct complaint against is alleged to have taken place, provided that the Lokayukta or Upa-Lokayukta, as the case may be, may entertain a complaint made after the expiry of the period specified in subclause 3 above, if the complaint made after the expiry of the period specified in subclause 3 above, if the complaint shows sufficient cause for making the complaint. This is the exact language in Section 4 of the Limitation Act. Sufficient cause is left to the Lokayukta to fix, not the government.
No, in this draft.
But anyway, we will take it that there is some such provision, and I am making my the recommendation on that basis. Now, the next one is giving of opportunities. You see, even under 311(2), he's busy looking into it. No, even under the Constitution of India, a second notice is necessary. One at the stage of the inquiry, that so-and-so allegation is made against you, and we propose to hold an inquiry, and this is a charge that is framed against you. Then he gets an opportunity of defending himself at that stage. Then at the stage of punishing, this is the proposed punishment, what do you have to say? Recently the judgment has been a little liberal in the thing. I personally feel the man must have an opportunity of pleading, don't